Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mental House. I am your host, Khadijah. And look here, I just want to make a quick video and talk about the difference between emotional neglect and emotional abuse right now. And these cluster B type of personalities and how they kind of fit in with the narcissism that's going on the planet right now. First of all, the definition and the difference of emotional abuse and emotional neglect. Okay, emotional abuse. Double binds. All choices given the child are negative ones. Okay. If you give your child choices, both of the choices are negative. Projection and transfer of blame onto the child. So it's whatever you feel, and I'm sure you are all kind of familiar with these terms now, like projection and the transfer. So anything that's really something that's um, really your problem, you're projected onto somebody else. Alterations, the child's alter the child's reality, and that's kind of like an intellectual abuse, or like in other words, the dad comes in and he's pissy drunk, and instead of saying, "Oh, dad's drunk," and the kid saying, "Oh, dad's drunk," no, 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 dad's not drunk. He's just tired. When we both know different, we both know that this child is not crazy, and the dad, instead of dealing with the truth of the situation, you make it something else. Overprotecting, smothering, excusing, blaming others for the child's problems. Fostering low self-esteem. Giving double messages. Of course I love you, dear, as you're clenching your teeth. Or not talking about the issues at all. That's one of the real big things that went on in my household. Not to talk about it at all, as if it didn't even happen. Which to me can be even more frustrating. Okay, emotional neglect. Example of those are failure to nurture, care for, or love the child. The child's just sitting there like a bump on the log. And you don't stimulate the child's emotional, mental, and physical desires. Failure to provide structure or to set limits for the child. Not listening to, hearing, or believing what the child says. And you're always questioning what the child says. Always, uh, making the child feel like you're interrogating him. That's a real stickler for, and it's considered emotional neglect. Expecting the child to provide emotional nurturing to the parents, and expecting the child to make the parents feel good as opposed to the other way around. Not being emotionally present due to mental illness, chemical dependency, depression, or compulsivity. Failure to encourage education or intellectual development. If you're not letting your child go to school and that's fine with you, or you're not homeschooling or educating the child and you're fine with that, you're fine with the child not being educated, not going to school, that's abuse. That's considered emotional abuse. Okay? Now, these are two particular stories that fall into the cluster B category that I'm just going to give it to y'all, and y'all listen to the definition of these two women. One of them had 20 boyfriends, and she had all 20 of them by her iPhones, and then she sold them all. Now, there are some people that don't have a problem with that, saying that she had a come up. That's not a come up at all. That's a ripoff. And how dare her have those men buy her iPhones that she was not going to keep. She manipulated them into buying her the iPhones, and then when they bought them for her, she commenced to turn around and selling them to somebody else to make a profit. No, that's very underhanded. And it is the reason that for those of y'all who think that's just a come up, that's some of the reasons why the narcissism was taken out of the DSM. That's like one of the reasons for that behavior seems absolute normal to you. Okay? That is unethical. It is it's a very unethical practice what she did. And if each and every one of those guys got mad and wanted to have words with her, I would understand why. I would definitely understand why. Then you got Mary Gaspard, and she's been charged with felony aggravated battery because what she did to John Smith was just horrible. She's so narcissistic that at 5 months pregnant, this is definitely borderline behavior right here. Definitely. Matter of fact, I believe both of these women, not only extreme narcissists, but this is definitely with a comorbid with the borderline. I'm just saying. She said that John Smith did not show her enough attention at 5 months pregnant, and he, even though he's a football player somewhere in Florida, and everybody knows that it's football season, so of course this is a double entendre. He's trying to stay focused on his football game plan, and he's got a baby and a wife that's pregnant, and probably hormones jumping all over the place, which causes him to be a little probably on edge. But he was there, and instead of her taking the time that they were spending together, because he was there, she was in his house arguing with him about him not spending time with her, or not giving her attention, should I say. And that caused her to set up a pot of hot boiling water and pour it on this man while he was laying on the couch. Fortunately, he didn't die, but they don't know if he's ever going to be able to play football again because of the burns. I mean, what? 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 I mean, I can't. He didn't give you enough attention, and that caused you to get up and go get some water, put it on the stove, and boil it, and pour it on this man. See, those are those triggers. When you got a person that's trying to run you over with a car, trying to hit you with a hammer, always filing restraining orders against somebody, calling the police on somebody. These are all pretty much your red flag that the person that you are dealing with is a borderline personality disordered individual. And how dare her pour water on this man while he's laying down on the couch sleep, because of her selfish, crazy self. Yeah. She's not showing any signs of remorse as of this moment, as of this the time of the article. And she thinks that she wouldn't have had to do it. Her response is, well, I wouldn't have had to do it if he was paying more attention to me. See, somebody that says something like that, you already know. There's no, and what? I'm getting angry just thinking about it. No empathy whatsoever. If he had been paying attention to me, then I wouldn't have poured the water on him. That's her response. Okay. It's the turn up of narcissism, y'all. And you're seeing it all across the country. And now we have in leadership one of the biggest narcissistic people on the planet, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is so narcissistic that it looks like he was getting a narcissistic feed off the high of the campaign. But now that the election is here and is over with, he doesn't have that charge anymore. He's some of the stuff he's backtracking from already. Well, that's another story, so I'm not even gonna get into that right now. Watch the narcissism on the planet. Watch it. Because it's definitely there. And it is spreading and growing like wildflower. Like wildfire, I'm sorry. It really is. Like wildfire. Anyway, those articles really disturbed me, and I thought I'd share it with you because this is the mental housing. Just check yourself and make sure you're not falling into the category of expressing and showing and putting upon anybody emotional abuse and emotional neglect. Okay? Alright, thanks for being out there. I appreciate you for listening. And I'll see you next time in the mental house. Be blessed, y'all.